My message for all of us tonight is hope. I think that there's too much despair, too much negative thinking. So I want to talk about hope. Because we're so used to focusing on the negative, we need some. How many people are familiar with the myth of Pandora's box? Okay? So what you may not know about the myth of Pandora's box is that, so there's this woman, and she opens the box, and this is a Greek myth, right? So we're blaming women for everything. And all the evils of the world come out of this box, right? And she closed the box really quick, but hope is trapped inside. So I think we should take hope back out of the box. Because we're in the midst of a major turning point today in our world. We see a lot of changes, not just from the global warming front, but there's this movement away from old beliefs. We're really shattering the old belief structures. And I think that that's very hopeful. Greta Thunberg. So Greta is 16, and she's from Sweden. And she started single-handedly the nonviolent protest against climate change. Let me say those words again. They're really powerful. There is a nonviolent protest against climate change. That's pretty cool. All these kids are doing things. Another one, Byron Slatt. He's Dutch. In 2003, he was 18, and he started the company that's now the Great Ocean Cleanup. Just this past week, his company tested their experimental technology, and for the first time, they removed microplastics out of the ocean. Now, in 2003, they didn't even know about microplastics. They were, they were trying to get rid of the big stuff because there's this. It's the size of Texas, the great garbage patch at this point. I think there's 2 of them, is what I heard, although I haven't seen it with my own eyes. This is all hearsay. There's at least 1. There might be 2. It's bad out there, folks. But they're cleaning it up. That's back to what we should focus on. Yes, it's bad. Solutions are in place, actually being implemented. The third reason for hope, I'll give you 2 already, Greta and Byron. 2 kids, 2 good reasons for hope. The third one that I want to talk about is Drawdown. Has anyone heard of the Drawdown project? Drawdown is the term for when we actually sequester more carbon than we're putting into the air. And so the way that we frame the conversation changes the outcome. If all we think that's possible is to slow it down, all we're going to do is slow it down. But if we actually start thinking along the lines of, we can reverse it, we can stop this, then that's huge. That's a game changer. It's kind of what Wayne Dyer says. When we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. Now, if anybody 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 1 year ago, had told me I'd be up here being the Wayne Dyer of climate change, I would have told me you're crazy. How many procrastinators are there in this room? Who's a procrastinator? Right? That many. And how many people have known people that have changed their life only after a major car accident or something like that? Right? This is where we're at as a society, as a civilization. We see the iceberg, it's coming. There it is. We can't afford to procrastinate on this one. We have to get off the procrastination and actually move into action. Global warming is a rite of passage for our civilization. And we have the opportunity to evolve through it. We're going to grow, we're going to change. We can, it's the opportunity. Doesn't mean we will. I'm not going to go into my personal story tonight, but the reason that I'm speaking about this, I had a major concussion last year. I should not be alive. But after that, it changed my life, and I got off my butt, and I said, what do I want to do with my life? And I looked, and I took stock, and I said, what's important? What's important? I think this is the conversation that we need to be having. Because too many of us, we live in this society. It's hyper-individualistic. We don't have that big picture. So back again, changing the way we look at things. I'm going to conclude with an anecdote about Galileo. Now, how the heck does he tie in? So Galileo, about 400 years ago, is this guy who's now credited with, he's the father of modern science for all intents and purposes. And he proposed that the sun was at the center of our solar system and that the earth moved around it. And prior to that, we believed the opposite. And they locked him up. They locked the guy up. 400 years later, he's the father of modern science. All hail Galileo. Now, maybe the moral of that story is that we should learn to respect the people who think differently.